Both will play a role here for Kanallakan and Scheffer.
So, get ready.
Let's watch the White Weenie Mirror in Legacy, shall we? A format full of combo decks, Emrakul's, Gristlebrand's,
Dark Ritual, Brainstorm.
How about instead, Mother of Runes and Aether Vial? That's my kind of magic.
Well, in the battle of creatures and removal and equipment, there may be no card in Magic better than Mother of Runes.
Rashad and Port. Perhaps time for Thalia? Yeah, absolutely. Now, what we do know is that Mother of Runes, it's a little shy.
Doesn't like to get into combat.
We'll draw this turn. Look to be an Aven Mind Sensor, perhaps? Yeah. See what Andrew can put together in the second turn here. I think he, the value cards here are different, right? Like Mother Runes is super important. Thalia, I don't think plays a huge role in the matchup, but Vial actually plays a huge role in the matchup.
And that's why you see Andrew, even though he's kind of on the back foot on the board right now, go and wasteland away Jamie's land, is because with Vial, he kind of has this implied advantage in mana over the long term.
Kanallakan's going to take 2 here from the Thalia. Well, we think. Yeah, he's going to take 2. And now there is a Mother of Runes and a Source of Plowshares. You got to keep that thing off the table.
Yeah, no chance Jamie can let that sneak into play. He's already at a pretty significant disadvantage with Andrew having a Vial, so Mother of Runes gets online, then he's really at the mercy of anything Andrew draws.
Sword and Fire and Ice was the draw there for Kanallakan. There's a Port. But that Vial makes attacking and blocking actually pretty tricky for Scheffer moving forward, especially when it's on 2. Spirited Labyrinth's going to come down now.
Not at its best in this matchup.
Absolutely not. Scheffer draws a card.
To some extent, Jamie's hand is kind of forced here. He doesn't really have the liberty of playing around things because there's no form of interaction anyway. He has his creature removal spells. If he has another Source of Plowshares, he can still keep fighting. But
Thalia beats a lot of stuff in combat anyway because it is first strike.
yeah.
There's Sarah Avenger.
What a deal.
To the skies. There's a Wasteland. Get that thing off the table. But I think what we're going to see here during this game is Mother of Runes reigning supreme.
Well, this might shift a little bit. Batterskull could force Mother of Runes to tap. That may open up a window for Andrew to get out of play. And then Stoneforge Mystic is a huge edge. But I also think there may be a problem here, Andrew, without another land in his hand. And
That's definitely possible.
if he doesn't have that, then Stoneforge Mystic not really doing very much. And as you mentioned, Mother of Runes can rule the day.
See, Kanallakan does have quite a few pieces of equipment in hand. He just need to get him into play as the Vial takes up to 3. Mother of Runes is the draw. Even Mind Sensor is what Kanallakan's trying to get started. Having a flyer is pretty nice, but Sarah Avenger, a little bit too big. However, there's a Mom. See if Scheffer has another Swords.
As you mentioned, so critical to keep Mother of Runes from getting active.
And he quickly is killing it.
No hesitation.
Yeah, he knows that. Even at the cost of 2 mana, because there's Thalia in play, get that thing off the table. And this makes it, when you have an active Mother of Runes, that your attacks really can't go wrong.
Yep. Go ahead and block. Let me know what you're doing.
And after all this time, a card that came out in Urza's Legacy, just kind of an innocent 1-drop, still just really good.
It was only innocent at its time because you could cast, Yawgmoth's Will and Yawgmoth's Bargain and replenish in standard formats.
Those are all 4-ups.
Yeah. Make no illusions about this. When me and my buddies got back into Magic, Legacy was the newest set. We all got 4 Mother Runes, and those were how all the games were determined.
Sure.
So if you weren't very good at Magic, you knew because your decks had them and they determined the outcome of all your games amongst bad decks.
Scheffer going to draw a card here. He's definitely at the better side of it. Swords of Plowshares ×2. Sarah Avenger ruling the skies, and Mother of Runes has been active since turn 2.
And Jamie doesn't even have to play around any spells whatsoever because Andrew can't even cast anything in the face of the Thalia. So
All he has to worry about is just what comes out of the vial. And then he can react appropriately depending on what kind of comes out of it. Looks like we might see a bit of a double block here, but Scheffer can get creative with Karakas.
yeah, he can go ahead and say, for example, I'll assign first strike damage to Stoneforge Mystic. If that resolves, cool. Go ahead, use the Karakas, put the Thalia back in my hand, play it post-combat. If Andrew is double blocking with the hope that it at least forces Jamie to use the Mother of Runes, that does not work here.
Some more damage comes through. Saw Scheffer play a plane pretty quickly. Went to go reach for some mana. I slowed down a touch. Wonder why.
Yeah, what are you concerned about tapping down your Karakas for?
A little gun shy, it looks like.
Hard to imagine Andrew initiates any action that threatens your Thalia that you care about. It's asking a lot.
Well, if I have the opportunity to cast a Sword of Fire, I'm going to take it.
Yep.
So there that is. Andrew going to put in a Flicker Wisp now.
Well, this is the window he's trying to set up here, though it looks like based on cards in hand, he has nothing to really follow up this with. He can go ahead and put a piece of equipment into play, but that doesn't really help because he doesn't have the mana to equip. It doesn't even open up the opportunity for him to draw Swords of Plowshares because Thalia is still in play. So getting Flicker Wisp into play is efficient, but I don't know if it really opens up a route for Andrew to navigate around this Mother of Runes going forward.
Revoker was the draw here for Andrew. But for him, no lands. Revoker doesn't play a huge role, can't go through the vial, so the only card that really matters right now is the Aven Mind Center in his hand. And for Kanallakan, doesn't really do all that much.
Yeah.
And for Scheffer, he can equip the sword on something, he can get real aggressive, give it protection from white and get in there. If he wants.
I think in this spot, it's so hard to fathom something going wrong as long as you keep trying to repeat these sorts of turns. I don't think that Jamie's going to do anything too crazy here.
There's certainly no need to do anything too crazy. He can keep it simple. Make Kanallakan actually just do something to beat him. There's the Mind Sensor. Finally coming through the vial. So this thing could be on chump blocking duty. Well, Stoneforge there. We'll tag team up on the Thalia. Flicker was going to go there. And I think this is, again, another situation where because Kanallakan only has one mana and you have a Thalia in play, and the vial's tapped, you might just be able to go, all right, Mother of Runes, give it protection from white. Again, you still can get creative with Karakas if you'd like to with first strike damage, too.
Yeah. It's especially easy if Jamie's drawn a land here, because then you can just post-combat replay the Thalia, and it's another great turn.
And you can see that Jamie knows exactly how the interaction works. That is favorable for him. Flicker was going to go away, and now Scheffer is whittling the forces. There's the land. Here's the Thalia again. And for Andrew, he's in the same bad spot. He's going to draw an Aether Vial. He's going to concede the game. So JB Scheffer is going to win game number 1 here over Andrew Kanallakan. The Death and Daxamir goes to a player on the left, our number 3 overall seed, as we're going to bring it back to the booth because it is trivia time. Patrick, we'll have your question for 6 months. I've got the rules. They're pretty simple, as you know. Hashtag your answer to his question with the hashtag of SCG Premium. Make sure you're following at SCG Live, and the winner will be announced at the conclusion of our semifinal round. And as usual, all contests here on SCG Live are the sole discretion of Star City Games. No contests are affiliated with Twitch.tv, though we do appreciate them allowing us to broadcast on their fantastic network.
Andrew Kanallakan, who we just saw pick up a loss in game 1. Death and Taxes has a variety of disruptive creatures, hate bears, whatever you want to call them. One of them is a much hyped enchantment creature from Theros Block. Can you name that creature?
Hasn't seen as much play as I thought it would. Kind of disappointing.
Usually one copy in the sideboard, Andrew moving one in the main deck. Can you name that creature?
Yeah, hashtag SCG Premium if you can. Again, make sure you're following at SCG Live, and we'll announce the winner to our 6-month contest at the conclusion of our semifinal round, as we'll take a look at the sideboards now, the Death and Taxes mirror. We can kind of single them out. We can look at them together. I mean, for Kanallakan, there's some interesting options here. Manrique Gusari may be the most interesting of the bunch.
The game does have the potential to come down to equipment, so Manrique Gusari is a nice target there. He has a Needle, a Ratchet Bomb, 2 Thistleborn Canis, a Wiltley Liege, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Enlightened Tutor, a Path to Exile, a Cataclysm, 2 copies of Council's Judgment. Council's Judgment seems pretty sweet in this matchup too.
Kind of expensive.
It is a little expensive.
You know, in the Thalia, Port, Wasteland mirror, I'm not saying that's how every game will go. You know, we saw Scheffer have 5 lands at the end of the game.
Right.
But it does feel a touch expensive.
And it is an answer to Mother Runes.
That's true.
And answers to Mother Runes are in premium in this matchup.
Yep.
Path to Exile is a huge cost. You know, Death and Taxes can definitely make use of the mana that you're getting, but there still might be just enough of a need for turn one answers to Mother Runes that you see that coming here as well.
On the other side, there's a Grafdigger's Cage, a Needle, 2 Thistleborn Canis, 2 Wiltleaf Liege, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Spirit and Labyrinth. You know, do you like Wiltleaf Liege?
It seems, I mean, it might be good just because so many of the creatures have the same size, but it doesn't really feel like the games are about, you know, you have a bunch of stuff and I have a bunch of stuff and we brawl and the biggest stuff wins. It feels like the games are about you can't attack or block because I have Mother Runes or equipment on something. It doesn't feel like Wiltleaf Liege really matches up the way the games are going to play out.
The Council's Judgments, I think, you know, again, the same argument can be said. Both players have 2 Council's Judgments in their sideboard. I think they're important for the same reasons and have the drawbacks for the same reasons. So the fact that it is just a Mother Runes killer might make it enough to board in.
It's not pretty. There's going to be some games because of Thalia, Port, Wasteland, you can't cast it, but the game feels like it's about certain significant permanence, and you want to give yourself as many answers to that kind of stuff as possible.
Yeah. See how it goes here for game number 2 between Scheffer and Kanallakan. And we do have an update on our backup match for you guys between Esper Stoneblade and Els. We will, of course, let you know. But it doesn't sound like we have anything just yet between Steve Danik and Al Carabel. Yeah, still game number 1. So if you guys are interested in that matchup, chances are we will have some time to head that way because I don't foresee the Death and Taxes mirror taking terribly long.
If it's going that long, probably a good sign for the Esper deck.
Yeah, I think so. It's a tough matchup, I think, too.
It is challenging. I think Umezawa's Jitte on its own, not enough to beat Elves.
I don't think
when
so.
you're backing it up with discard, counter spells, removal spells, so on. Because once Jitte gets to connect once, it's an avalanche. It's really hard for the Elves deck to catch back up once it hits once. It's very good at protecting itself from getting hit the first time, but once that happens, it's really tough to come back.
Both players will lay out their 7. Andrew will be on the play here. See if he can even it up, or if Jamie Scheffer will be headed to the finals. Andrew going to lean back in his chair. Give this one a long look. And he is happy enough. Oh, Jamie's going to send it back. So 6 cards here. Death and Taxes has really hit the scene in a big way here in the Open Series over really the past year. Ever since Sneak and Show's dominance, we saw the progression was actually really interesting to watch. It really, you could say began at the Grand Prix in Washington, D.C., where, players were talking about playing Death and Taxes, but were unsure if they were actually going to do it and pull the trigger. Sneak and Show was the deck to beat coming into that Grand Prix. And players were thinking, well, this is the natural foil to it, but there's no guarantee I'll play against it every round. Is this deck actually good against other stuff? Craig Wesco, Brian Kibler, 2 huge names that played the deck. Looks like it was.
It is tough when you are if you're not doing a lot of legacy play, if you're not getting in reps, you're just looking at deck lists. It's hard to pull the trigger on a deck that starts 11x planes.
Yeah.
That's just going to be hard to do, It's tough enough to convince people to opt out of brainstorm decks altogether. When you compound that with the fact that the deck is 26 white creatures, a lot of people are just going to stick their nose up at that. But Death and Taxes has proven it is a legitimate foil, not just to Sneak and Show, but a variety of other decks as well.
Yeah, it's picked up in quite a bit of popularity. Per Nystrom, Dave Shields, bevy of other players have 1 legacy opens with the deck.
Yeah, it definitely has a resume at this point.
And Schaefer's going to 5. So we might be headed to a 3rd game sooner than I thought.
Yep. So the lesson we can learn from game 1 there, it seems like unchecked Mother of Runes
Yeah.
superior than unchecked Aether Vial.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that one. And having a timely answer for the other Mother of Runes, too.
A lot got made out of, it's easy to make a lot of the fact that, Andrew didn't have a second land and couldn't put his equipment into play. But it's not clear to me that getting any of his equipment into play really would have mattered. I think Mother of Runes still would have controlled the pace of that game.
Still locks it down.
Yeah.
And be it GT, be it Batterskull, be it Sword of Fire Nice. Unless there's a flyer involved, then it forces Jamie to have a flyer. So, Mother of Runes is the kind of card that reigns supreme in this matchup as long as you use it correctly. Now, your opponent can, of course, work into situations where you don't get the opportunity to. 2 swords, for example.
For sure.
But by and large, if you have an active Mother of Runes, you are probably doing quite well for yourself. Five cards here for Jamie. Does he find something he likes? Looks like he's going to keep. Kanallakan is going to start off with Mother of Runes. Going to put him to test right away. No swords here.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
I guess,
really hard.
Not going to say it's over, but it's tough now. There's another mom. No second land makes things a little bit interesting.
Okay.
Scheffer does have a second land. It's a Rashad board, so slow you down. Kanallakan draws another non-land. I think the keep is a good one because Mother is so good. Here's an attack for 2. That's a... That could be a mistake.
Well, he didn't have the plow on turn 1, so it's a 2-turn window he could have found it. You still get 1 Mother of Runes left over, and given the way this game is shaping up, it may be important for Andrew to get every point of damage you can.
I think right now he's considering pathing his own mom.
That is really rough.
I think personally, if I'm in Andrew's seat, I just keep playing draw go here.
Yeah.
Having 2 moms on the battlefield is 1 is obviously great. 2's got to be better. But he's gonna go hunting. There's a Plains.
This is a gutsy play.
Yeah.
Hard to give up on Mother of Runes like that. Especially against it, it'd be one thing if Jamie was doing something of significance right now, but the board's empty. And if you just draw a land naturally, the upside's so huge.
But Kanallakan has decided that's going to be his play. He'll draw a card for the turn. I don't think he drew for his turn.
Yeah, I don't think that. So we'll get that, figure out what's going on with that momentarily.
The path from the upkeep there. So basically, he got ported on his upkeep, and he pathed in response, but never drew a card for the turn. And they can actually do a simple card count here, too.
Keep in mind, Jamie on 5 cards when you're doing these calculations. Because I was waiting to see that turn. Does Andrew draw a land? Because that's such a huge deal.
Yeah, that was the thing that I wanted to know, too.
Yeah. And instead, he drew nothing.
You see the head judge actually is playing the role of spotter here for the rest of the tournament, so he will actually be the final ruling on what takes place here. So he's going to count the other player's cards here too. Yeah, so he will draw a card. I don't know if the turn will unwind or not, but drew a copy of Sarah Avenger. It's not a land, so
Yeah, it's irrelevant, but
I want to make sure the game state is correct, so that's important. So now play will continue. See what Scheffer wants to do this turn. He wants to keep porting, maybe? Oh, there's an Avenger. So he gets to go to the skies and keep with the porting. So Kanallakan. It's a Phyrexian Revoker.
yeah, still no hope. And now it looks like Andrew is contemplating preemptively needling a piece of equipment. Or maybe Rashad port.
There's probably some real interest in naming port there. We'll see what he does name. Hey, does name port. Getting tired of that. Of course, Needle, you can name a land. Phyrexian Invoker, you can't. Here's an attack with 3 in the air. Andrew's going to go down to 17.
Another progression of R&D philosophy. If someone's naming a land with Pithy Needle, probably something bad's happening. Although in this case it's the reverse because it's a land that stops lands from working.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Port's a heck of a card.
Yeah.
There's a Mirran Crusader. Typically a great threat to white mirrors, but Mother of Runes makes it just a mediocre beater.
Pretty nice against Bug.
Not so bad. Andrew gonna untap here. Let's see what this is gonna be. It's an Enlightened Tutor. This is on the upkeep. Now things get mighty interesting. Let's see what Scheffer wants to search up. Could be a card like Muzawa's Jite.
Equipment's not bad here.
Yeah. Get some real spice here. He's got a big smile on his face going through his deck. I'd be worried.
Though I'm curious why he would do this on Andrew's upkeep.
I think the concern here is if he draws a 3rd land to play around Mind Sensor. But I guess he could
Sure.
respond to Mind Sensor.
The other option that he has is doing this inside the draw step, because the concern I would have about this line of play is it affords Andrew the opportunity to Enlighten Tutor for another Needle
Sure.
and name the card that you Enlighten Tutor for.
Sure.
So you could make basically the same play inside of Andrew's draw step and not expose yourself to Enlighten Tutor for another Pithy Needle mattering.
Yeah, there's also, the situation, right, where Andrew can just take his turn. Maybe he just plays, I don't know, some Stoneforge Mystic, okay?
Yeah.
Now he has a Revoker in his hand. He might just revoke, Jite now that he knows it's coming.
Right. Well, if you're worried about the Mind Sensor, that's an argument for doing it sometime before Andrew can play a 3rd land. So let's assume that's the thing that Jamie's concerned about. Then I think he's still better served just doing it in the draw step.
And there's an Avenger. And he's incentivized to play a flying blocker now. I think he may have been incentivized before, to be fair.
Yeah.
But now he'll 100% do that because he knows he does not want Jite to get online. Because it'll take care of the Mother of Runes, and then the whole house of cards will crumble. There's a land. Jite next is the hand for Scheffer.
He's actually an AO pile on the sideboard to Enlighten Tutor 4. Get out of these Mother Rune locks.
Yeah, you can really find them. Just some card. How about a Moonglove Extract?
That's fine.
Okay.
You can start adding Icatian Javelineers to your deck.
Oh, baby.
Good against Elves.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, oh yeah. Lots of nuances to this matchup.
Equip here. Okay. There's an attack.
Well, it doesn't seem like Andrew can really let this hit, so...
No, absolutely
This
not.
forces... If the last card in your hand is Source of Plowshares, then that's what it is.
Yeah. He loses this. Doesn't get the counters. And that land should be untapped. What's this card? I hope for Jamie's sake that's a Source of Plowshares. He's just going to pass the turn back.
Listen, I like bluffing as much as the next man, but when your opponent has to call 100% of the time...
Yeah, it's a bad bluff. It's a bad bluff then.
Keep your powder dry. He'll get another shot at
Yeah,
it.
yeah. There's no world he's not blocking. I don't care how much confidence you attack with.
Right.
Here's 3 mana. The King of Rescos has shown up to the party now. It's time for the attack step. There we go. In for 3. Scheffer is going to Caracas Bramaz. It's maybe a bit of a misstep there for Andrew. So he had a lot of different threats he could play. And Caracas makes it so that turn is basically useless.
And arguably, just putting more flyers into play is better anyway. Even setting aside the Caracas. I gotta say, the cards are better, obviously, but I'm having a lot of flashbacks to me and my friends getting back into Magic. Just one player has them other runes and the other player's deck doesn't work.
Oh, time to equip it up.
You know, we had Giant Gross, these decks of Umezawa's Jitates.
It's all the same.
Some of it's different, but some of it is very much the same experience.
It's a callback to what you know and love.
Yep. Love's a strong word. Experienced. I guess maybe is more apt.
There's Flicker Wisp. So it wants to get something out of the way. Gonna protect the Avenger. Swords.
Okay. This is a huge swing.
And we're super live now.
I mean, this is Jamie just swung this game completely around.
Yeah, this is 4 GT counters is what this is. I don't know if Andrew can win.
This escalated quickly.
Well, he does have a Revoker in his hand. I will say that.
Yeah.
That was a huge setup. Let's see what this is. There's a vial. You can have that. Don't care about that at all. I think the thing that really kind of doomed Andrew here was taking that turn off by playing Burmaz and getting a Crocus. There's Revoker. You need to quickly activate this. There goes your Mother of Runes.
Yeah, no hesitation.
Of course, Revoker is going to name Umezawa's Jite. Don't want that to do anything else.
But Andrew's still taking some lumps this turn, you know? Not in a position to block.
No good blocks.
Yeah. Oh,
it's our
my goodness.
It's our good friend, Mr. Flicker Wisp. How much damage is this going to be for? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
10, 13.
Well, it's double strike.
Yeah.
So 2, 4, 6, 8.
Excuse me. No, that's more than that.
That's the full blown amount.
Yeah. This is lethal, I believe.
2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that's an 8-power creature.
What a set of back-to-back draws from Jamie.
That's a hammer ding dong there. 2 counters. So you can pump up the jamming. That's more than enough.
Yeah. This is like crater hoof math. You do it and it's dead by a lot.
Yeah. Pump up the jam.
What an unbelievable set of draws here for Jamie.
This went from I don't think that Jamie can win to I don't think that Jamie can lose. You can see he just shrug his shoulders, but how is that not lethal? 6, 8. Here's double strike.
Yep.
What did I miss?
Yeah, that should have been.
He pumped the creature 3 times. Yeah.
I mean, that's so much damage.
Yes, I mean, if he pumps the Mirror Crusader 3 times, it becomes an 8-power creature, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. Double strike is 16. Yeah. That's 19 with Flicker Wisp. So unless the light totals are wrong somehow, that is so much damage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna do it. Yeah. I don't know if the guy's just got the math wrong or something, but that is so much damage. It's like it's laughable.
It's lethal by quite a bit.
Yeah. So for Jamie Scheffer with Death and Taxes, he's moving on to the finals. He's going to play the winner of our other match here between Steven Danik and Al Carabel, and those guys are in game number 3 right now, so I think we're going to be able to hop over there, see what's happening between Elves and Esper Stoneblade. But congratulations to Jamie, back-to-back insane draws in that situation.
Looked like he was done for.
It was a terrible situation.
And then was able to set up, I mean, especially after the Sarah Avenger got put in the graveyard for dubious purposes.
Yeah.
Was able to draw, I guess, Flicker Wisp plus Plow on back-to-back turns. Probably the other way around. And then draw another Flicker Wisp to clear out the Revoker. And it went from Jamie's locked to Jamie wins in 2 turns.
Oh. Flicker Wisp is way better than I think we give it credit for.
Well, yeah. In this matchup, at least.
The often mocked 3-1 flyer.
It does a lot of stuff.
There's a